who gets up every day fighting for the working class, Mr. Shawn Fain.
All right. That's right. Eat the rich. You know what? I haven't wore this shirt since we were on strike in the Big Three strike, and I thought today was a perfect day to break it back out again. You know, I got to start by thanking Myra. You know, there's nobody I would have rather been introduced by today than one of our badass female UAW members. Because I don't want it to go unnoticed today that today is International Women's Day. And I got to tell you, it's hard not to get emotional because I think about the badass women that have been in my life, that raised me, the grandmothers I had, my mother, my sister, and some of the badass union women I've worked around that were inspirations to me. Yeah. So it's great to be here today in Warren, Michigan. On behalf of 1 million active and retired UAW members, I'm honored to be here. You know, Warren is a proud UAW town. Home to several UAW plants. And today, we were right down the road from Warren Truck, Local 140, where Myra's from. And I want to take a moment to talk about our UAW family at Warren Truck, because it plays into everything we're here talking about today. Over 3,500 members of Local 140 work at Warren Truck Plant, building Wagoneers, and they used to build Ram trucks there for Stellantis. That plant's been around since 1938. For a long time, this place was known as Dodge City. For decades, workers there proudly built Dodge pickup trucks. More importantly, because of the UAW, it also built a dignified life for thousands of workers there. It built a life where you could raise a family, you could own a home. You could take your kids to the doctor without having to worry about breaking the bank. You could retire knowing that you would be all right because you had a pension and health care that you earned. And those workers in Warren, just like at a lot of our other plants, have generated billions of dollars in profits for this company for decades. But to a greedy corporation, it's not enough. A few months ago, thousands of those workers were served with an indefinite layoff notice. That's right. While Stellantis was laying these workers off, the company was planning on moving good blue-collar jobs to Mexico where they can exploit workers for $3 an hour to make Ram trucks. And then they can ship those trucks back here, right across the border, to America, and they can sell it for the same price. You know, they'll sell them from anywhere from $70,000 to over $100,000 each. You know, when they abuse that cheap labor in Mexico, they sure as hell don't lower the price. And before I go into this further, I want to say this. People in Mexico aren't our enemy. They're our family. They're human beings who are being exploited the same damn way my grandparents' generation was exploited by these corporate people and these rich people. And while they sell these trucks that they make down there and they bring them back here and they sell them for $100,000, they don't pass that savings on the consumer. They don't pass that. They don't give the workers more. The people at Wall Street and all these executives rake in the difference. You know, so while thousands of UAW families are wondering what the hell they're going to do next, all for a company, think about this, all for a company that was bailed out by the American taxpayers 15 years ago. And it wasn't just the taxpayers, it was the workers in the union that made the sacrifice to keep these companies afloat. And sadly, this isn't a new story. It's the same old playbook. For over 30 years, we've seen this playbook over and over. Corporations cut good jobs and destroy communities because of our unfair trade policies. Unchecked corporate power and an unfettered corporate greed that has slithered its way into the center of our politics. You know, all over America and right here in Michigan, so many of our communities have lived this reality. We've lived the layoffs, the plant closures, the shuttered houses on the block, the neighborhood schools shutting down, the hollowed out towns that are left behind with empty buildings. That's right. And the next generation of families, for the first time in our history, are going to be left off worse than we were. So I have a simple question for you. Don't we deserve better?
Yeah!
Don't working class people deserve dignity?
Yeah.
Don't we deserve to be treated like human beings?
Yes!
You know, we're fed up with a system where billionaires get everything and the working class gets left behind. And I'm here to tell you, no one's going to come in and wave a wand and fix this. The only way we're going to end this system is if we're willing to fight like hell to change it.
Woo! Yeah!
And I'll be real, for our union, for a lot of people, the election didn't turn out how we wanted it to.
No.
But you know what? We woke up the next day, I woke up the next day still damn proud to represent 1 million badass members of the UAW and a militant working class that wants better. Something else that didn't change. Workers are still up against the same billionaires. You know, and we woke up still fighting for the same, what we call in the UAW, our 4 core issues. You know, and I don't care party affiliation. I don't care who somebody's favorite politician is. I don't care what color hat somebody wears or what color the collar on their shirt is. No matter the party, our mission doesn't change. Our 4 core issues at the UAW are simple. A living wage.
Yep. Yep.
Not a bare minimum, an actual wage you can make a living off of. You know, decent health care.
Yes. It's a human right.
A dignified retirement, you know, when people are too old to work and too young to die. And the 4th thing is some semblance of a life off the job, be actually having a life. That's right. You know, and that's the thing, these 4 core issues, I mean, they're issues that matter not just to our members, to everybody in the working class. And those 4 core issues are what's under attack right now by corporate America and the billionaire class. And I got to tell you this, I'm going to be honest, you know, it's the same corporate America we've seen under Democrats as we've seen under Republicans.
Yeah. That's right. That's right.
You know, we talk about a living wage, just think about that, because for decades, we've seen wages fall. And one big way they do it is by exactly what they're doing at War and Truck right now. They find another group of poor workers that they can exploit, and they kill good jobs and they replace them with bad jobs. Either they go to a poorer state or a poorer country, they treat the workers like garbage, and they threaten them. They threaten them with plant closures and more outsourcing if they won't accept the bare minimum and if they dare speak up for something better. You know, right now we're in the fight of our lives to end the anti-worker trade system that began with NAFTA and has continued on with the USMCA. It's time to stop the global race to the bottom.
Yep.
And it's time to put a price on corporate America's playbook of killing good jobs in America to exploit low-wage workers in Mexico and elsewhere, while the rich continue to pocket all the profits. That's right. Our broken trade system screws the American worker. It screws the American consumer, it screws the American taxpayer, and it screws the Mexican worker and everybody else also. You know, and that's the way they've done it. The rich have divided and conquered across borders, and if we want to continue fighting, if we want a living wage for blue-collar Americans, we have to end this system today. You know, our second core issue, we talk about health care. You know, right now we're looking at massive attacks on Medicaid and Medicare. And the billionaires, yeah, the billionaires like Elon Musk, who's pulling the strings. That's right. That's right. But you know, people like Elon Musk, they're drooling all over cutting these programs. Talking about these billionaires that pull the strings, and they're drooling all over cutting all these programs that benefit people. You know, when they do these things, they don't see a grandparent. They don't see a single parent just trying to get by. They don't care about a retiree or a veteran or a person with a disability trying to live with some dignity. That's right. They see dollar signs, and sooner or later, when they continue to see dollar signs, they're going to see picket signs. Because the only thing that's won decent health care for the working class in this country has been the labor movement and people willing to fight for it. You know, right now in Tennessee, we're fighting for health care at Volkswagen for 4,000 workers there. That's the biggest automaker in the world. And last year, you know, those workers made history by being the first plant in the South to join the UAW. And we got a team down there, they've been bargaining like hell, and I can tell you they're ready to fight like hell for a dignified contract that has health care. You know, talking about that third core issue of dignified retirement, Elon Musk calls Social Security a Ponzi scheme. You know, think of that, a Ponzi scheme. You know, when you pay into a system until the con man runs away with everybody's money. And I think we all know who the con man is.
Yeah!
You know, it's not our grandparents, it's not a public school teacher, it's Elon Musk and the billionaire class.
Boom!
And you want to talk about a Ponzi scheme? I'll tell you about the Ponzi scheme. The only Ponzi scheme we've seen in this country in the last 40 years is the rich getting richer while the working class and everybody else gets left behind. And you think about the fourth thing we talked about, getting your time back, getting your life back. I heard a brother right down here a minute ago talk about working more than one job. How many of you in this room had to work 7 days a week or 2 or 3 jobs just to survive? How many of you missed doctor's appointments or a family cookout or a kid's birthday because you knew if you missed work, everything may fall apart?
Yep.
And how many of you are just too damn tired by the time you get home to spend any real time with your family, your friends, or anything else you want to do?
I'm tired.
See, to the billionaire class and the corporate class, we're just machines. We're there to make them money, and if they have their way, they'll work us and all until we die.
Yep.
And we deserve a hell of a lot better than that. We all know that. So what's stopping us from winning on these issues? You know, we know these are all popular issues. We know everybody in this country wants these things. We know we have the numbers. And we know we have what we need to do. And the truth is, you know, the billionaires and the greedy corporations, they're doing what they've done for decades. And they've done it because they do one thing. They keep us divided. They want to pit working class people against one another. They want to divide us by race. They want to divide us by gender, by nationality, whatever the hell they can find to do it, that's what they do.
Yep.
We got to stop it. And ultimately, they want us to think there isn't enough for all of us, while they walk away with more power and more money.
Yeah.
Billionaires don't have a right to exist. You know, I said it when we were on the picket line. The threat we face in this country, it's not some foreign adversary, it's not some immigrant crossing a border trying to find a better life. The threat is right here at home. It's corporate greed that's destroying this country.
Yep. Yep.
It's corporate greed that's wreaked havoc on our communities and destroyed us. And right now, the billionaire class is on the attack, bigger than they've ever been. And you know, the new administration is allowing Elon Musk, the richest man on earth, to orchestrate mass firings and continue to rip our federal government apart.
Government is a quitter.
You know, they're gutting crucial programs. They're laying the groundwork to destroy Medicaid, Medicare, Social Security, and a hell of a lot more. But you know, there's one thing I know. The good thing for us is this. The answer is right here. The answer is right here in this room. And you know, I know it's Saturday, but I'm going to get a little bit Sunday on you for a minute, you know, and I got to tell you something. You know, I hear people, and I hear a party in particular, talk about religion, and they try to claim to be the party religion, everything else. You know, one thing I know about religion is this. You know, the Bible I've read talks about what's the most powerful, or what's the most important commandment when Jesus was tested. And I got to tell you, you know, what it was, you know it. Love the Lord your God with all your heart, all your mind, all your soul, and love your neighbor as yourself. Love your fellow human beings.
Yeah!
It Doesn't say what color they are, doesn't say what sex they are, doesn't say how they identify it, doesn't say where the hell they come from. It says love your fellow human being. And you know, in our sit-down strike for the big three, you know, I talked about this and I spoke about this the night before we went on strike. You know, Matthew 17, 20, 21. For truly I tell you, if you have faith the size of a mustard seed, you will say to this mountain, move from here to there, and it will move, and nothing will be impossible for you.
Woo!
These billionaires and these corporations that are hell-bent on breaking and dividing us, they seem like mountains, you know, and some days it feels like it's impossible to move it. But here's the thing. When workers stand in solidarity with one another and stand up to the boss, when we look after each other, when we care for each other, when we guarantee that everybody has an equal shot at a good life, when people have the courage to tell politicians to pick a side, when we fight oligarchy, those are the mustard seeds. And I definitely have faith. I have faith when working people stand together and fight for what we deserve, we can move mountains. And I tell you, I look forward to continuing our fight and fighting like hell side by side with everybody in this room.
Yeah!
That's how we're going to do it. We're going to do it together as a united working class. And I got to tell you, somebody I want to bring up now, there is no greater champion in the world for the working class, a hero for the working class, a uniter than our friend Bernie Sanders.
Shawn for that introduction, and to tell you that in Shawn Fain you have one of the great progressive trade union leaders in America. So brothers and sisters, we got some problems in this country.